In Paris, while I was visiting in my 1997 honeymoon with Mrs. Squinty, when we got a glass of wine at a restaurant, we would raise our glass of wine and toast using the phrase chin chin. Chin chin, I am told, is supposed to mimic the sound of glasses clinking. Chin chin. Now, I don't have any wine. All I've got is a bottle of Dr. Pepper cream soda. I'm going to take a little sip of that, and then we're going to get into this review of Simply Snuff's Chin Chin. Chin Chin is described, as you can see in the description, as a Rustica snuff. Boy, that's gotten trendy, hasn't it? Rustica snuff that is topped with lemony, earthy, and spicy scents, and has a dollop of menthol added to it to provide lasting warmth in the nose. Fair enough. Now, as you know, if you've watched this channel for a while, I have to be very cautious when I take mentholated snuffs because I'm subject to menthol rebound. That's when the menthol irritates the mucous membranes in your nose, causing them to swell. Well, then the menthol has exactly the opposite of its intended effect. Rather than opening the nose, it closes the nose up. That happens with me fairly easily with menthol snuffs. So I would normally not take a menthol snuff all day long. Maybe if I had a stuffy nose or something, I would use it for part of a day, but always have to be very careful of that menthol rebound. In the tin of the Simply Snuff Chin Chin, we have, and I know this from the description, we have a dark chocolate colored snuff base. All I can smell is the menthol. That's all I can smell when I first raise the tin to my nose. And I can smell the menthol. And maybe I can smell a little more menthol. There's something else in there, of course, that I'm smelling. Something that is vaguely woody and spicy. I'm not really getting the lemon when I first open the tin. So let's try this. As I said, it is finely ground. It's extremely moist, dark brown chocolate color, dark chocolate brown. Made with Rustica, so it's going to pack some nicotine. And it can have kind of a funky odor to it because of the Rustica. I don't find the odor unpleasant. But yeah, it's, it does have an aroma. Much more present aroma than just regular burley tobacco does, which is what they mostly use to make nasal snuff. The most commonly used tobacco is burley, typically African burley, typically from the country of Malawi in Africa. Let's try this. Here we go. Chin chin. Oh yeah, there's menthol. Plenty of menthol. Here's a hint for trying the Simply Snuff snuffs. You really can't evaluate them on one pinch. When I did the horse feathers, that was a first take. But this is my second take doing the Chin Chin review. And it's been in my nose for a while. This will allow me to get maybe a better read. I am very, very sorry about all the snuff artisans who have disappeared, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that a snuff reviewer such as Simon, Simply Snuff, took the bull by the proverbial horns and released his own line of interesting snuffs with the help of 6photo of India, who manufactures these snuffs for Simply Snuff. And of course, these are sold exclusively by MrSnuff.com. All right. As the menthol backs off just a hair, and a little snuff falls out of my nose, that was delicate. I'm not really getting the lemon so much, but I am getting the earthy tones that may be from the Rustica in combination with the toppings, as opposed to a separate scent topping. There might be something vaguely antiseptic about this, not just from the menthol, but from whatever spices have been used. Simon is, as he should be, very tight-lipped about the actual aroma ingredients and proportions and so on, and he should be. This is his baby. But it is a little bit confusing. The lemon is coming through more as a sensation than an actual aroma. It's an augmenter. It is not a separate aroma. It just augments the other scents. Uh, Spices, yeah, maybe. I'm feeling them more than smelling them. I'm getting a little cardamom. In fact, that's mostly what I'm getting as far as the spices goes. Just a little cardamom in there. And I don't know what else. Um, let's see, what else am I smelling here? I'm getting a tiny little bit of basil or something like it. But again, the same thing happened with this one that happened with the horse feathers. It takes about 30 seconds for the aroma to fully develop in your nose. Then you get about 30 more seconds of the characteristic aroma profile of the snuff. And after about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, it basically goes downhill until it's just a hot mess. You can't tell what you're smelling. And this is another one of these. It ends up at the end of things smelling like maybe cardboard. Cardboard with menthol. And now here comes that lemon, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to spend a lot more time, but I will give you an initial review. You know, I'm trying to be fair with these. I'm not. I would love to be able to come out and go, wow, a snuff invented by another snuff reviewer. This is great. This is the greatest snuff on the planet. You will love it. You will use it. You'll use it nasally. You'll use it in your ears. You'll use it rectally. You'll stuff it into your navel. This is so good. I would love to do that. I can't. I'm sorry, Simon. The last one that I reviewed, the horse feathers, I only gave a 3, and I was being real charitable. Now, I didn't read any of the customer reviews on Mr. Snuff. I don't. I just read the descriptions, which I will then copy and paste typically into the description. But I purposely do not read the reviews. Still, 10 reviews for horse feathers got a 4 out of 5, and I only gave it a 3 minus. You know, maybe other people are smelling things I can't. But this, it's done the same thing as horse feathers did. It just kind of slides downhill. And then it ends up smelling like everything and nothing at the same time. It's okay. Would I buy it again? Well, I didn't buy it the first time. Thank you again, Paul P. from Pennsylvania, for sending me these 2 tins. He sent me the horse feathers and the Chin Chin, 2 fresh tins. And Paul, and also Simon, I wish I liked these 2 more. I found the horse feathers downright off-putting. This I don't. This is good. It's interesting. You know, that's one thing I will say about Simply Snuff snuffs. They're adventurous, and they smell like nothing else you can buy. I have never smelled scent profiles that are identical to the Simply Snuff snuffs I've tried. At the very least, they're unique. So this gets a 4 out of 5 on the Squinty Scale, where 1 is disgusting, 5 is delicious, nicotine is 7 to 8. Would I buy this again? Probably not. Will I use the rest of the tin? Definitely. This is one I could use on days when I'm a little cloggy. I wouldn't even consider this a medicated snuff per se. The menthol just helps open things up a little bit to help you appreciate some of those more subtle aromas. Unfortunately, I'm not really smelling them. But 4 out of 5, you'll want to buy this, you'll want to try this, and you know, don't listen to what I say on some of this stuff. Your tastes are going to be different from mine because we have different body chemistries, different levels of experience with snuff. And you know, I just learned this. There's research that shows that some people can smell certain aromas better than others. Like, they may have about the same olfactory acuity. They can detect all the scents. But for some people, those scents appear more prominently than others. It's a trick of the brain. So please do not be discouraged. If I give a snuff a low rating, that doesn't mean it isn't good. It's just not good to me with my body chemistry and my snuff experience. And I want to be real generous with these reviews because I believe in small project snuff efforts like this one. I think it took a lot of courage, probably not an insignificant amount of money, and a lot of time for Simon to formulate these 8 snuffs currently in this Simply Snuff range. But, and I appreciate that. You know, I wish Chris, OSP, could still make snuff. He cannot, will not for the time being. Jeremy, Gadsden Mill, really looking forward to when those products come on the market, and I know they will. They've had a few bumps in the road, and I'm afraid that it was I who threw a couple of those bumps into their path because of problems with moisture that I pointed out to them. But I think they'll sort that out. Now, be watching, maybe too early for an announcement, and I hope I'm not tipping their hand. There are a pair of new snuff reviewers. Lady and her male partner. I don't know if they're married, and I don't care, but they seem to love each other, and they're friendly together on camera, and their reviews are really fun. And they call their channel Olfactory Snuff, ol with a apostrophe after it, indicating that the letter D is missing, therefore Old Factory, or olfactory. You see, get the pun. Olfactory Snuff. They tell me that they are getting ready to produce a range of snuffs. And I really love that. And I want to be charitable to the people that are just starting out. You know, snuff making is quite a learning process. Not only do you have to be educated, and not just book smart, but educated in terms of experience of the various aromas you're using, but putting them into perfect balance is not an easy task. And I admire Simon, and I admire Olfactory Snuff, and I admire Gadsden. I admire all these people because they're trying. They got more courage than I do. Okay, you know, I said it slid downhill till it smells like nothing. This is an example of what I was talking about. Throat drip is starting to get pretty heavy. It doesn't burn at all. And now I'm getting some more of that lemon, some more of that cardamom, and it's actually nicer than it was when I first sniffed it. I'm still going to give it a 4 out of 5. That's not going to change, but it's one worth having, so try it. From Simply Snuff, Chin Chin. I am your wicked Uncle Squinty. This is the last of my reviews for Friday, February 24th, 2023. However, depending on how liquored up I get, maybe I won't get liquored up. Maybe I'll just get stoned. Either way, there will be a pinch which is Squinty coming up shortly. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the like button. And most of all, while I cannot, because of computer problems, reply to your comments, I love reading them. And if you have something that you need to talk to me about personally, maybe you need a question answered or suggestions for a particular snuff, or you just want to chat, I'm always available via email. You know the address, unclesquinty@gmail.com.